Welcome to the Crusaders of Lornia deck opening. We're going to be opening one of the new recruitment decks that's coming out, Defenders of the City. As you can see, it has a nice little window for the cover card. And on the back of the box, it has a nice little list of all the cards that come in it. And then within the box itself, it comes with two of these rule sheets / playmats and a fully constructed deck. This is the playmat that comes in the Defenders of the City deck. Has a nice picture of all the main characters of the story, along with the city that you will be defending in the background there. Then you flip it over. You have the nice little rule sheet of the game. Gives a breakdown of the phases and all the cards and what each section of the card does. Alright, we're going to now go over the single cards that come in the Defenders of the City recruitment deck. We're just going to jump right into it. First up, we have a one of Troublemaker Ricky. Cover card of the deck. When you deploy him, you get to deploy Waitress Nikki, which is his girlfriend, from your hand for nothing. Just get stuff out for free. Speaking of Waitress Nikki, here she is. If you command her and Troublemaker Ricky, neither one of them can be assaulted. So it basically forms a small lock where your opponent cannot assault you. That doesn't protect your other guys, of course. Next up we have Emor Private. He's just a 2 assault 2 armor for a cost of 2, but his effect, when a Troublemaker Ricky is assaulted, which may not happen a lot, but in the instance it does, you get to deploy him for free. So, more swarming effects. Next up we have Benthar, Emor City Guard. When he's deployed, you take a life form with Emor in its name from your stasis, put it back into your hand. Although you can't add another copy of Benthar back. But anything else with Emor in its name is fair game. Next we have Haldor. He's just a 3 of. Now when he's deployed, you get to enhance him with any tactical card from your hand for 0 fuel. And as you'll see, there are plenty of tactical cards in this deck that work with Emor life forms. Next we have Patron of Emor, just the simple 1 cost, 1 assault, 1 armor guy. Next up we have Ventara. Only 3 of her, but all life forms, should be more specific, all human life forms get +1 assault and +1 armor. This does also include your opponents, so you have to be careful with that. Next up, Gildorian. Simple 4 cost, 4 assault, 4 armor. That's all for the life forms. Next up, the tacticals. And we're starting out with some enhancements. Tibetian Blade. If the enhanced life form does not have Emor in its name, it just simply gets +1 assault. But if it does have Emor in its name, it gets 2 assault instead. Next we have the Smuggled Sidearm. There's a 4 of. Again, it has the condition if the enhanced life form does not have Emor in its name, it only gets +1 assault, +1 armor. But then if it does have Emor in its name, it gets added bonuses where it's instead +3 assault and +1 armor. Next up, Miscalculated Assault. Only 2 of. A life form is if an opponent's life form assaults a human life form that you command, avoid the assault, neutralize the assaulting life form. Next up, Tibetian Spear. Now this can only enhance a life form with Emor in its name. And the enhanced lifeform can assault twice each turn instead of just once. Next up we have Hero's Aura. Basically you're able to protect one of your lifeforms once during the turn. So if it would be neutralized once, you could use this to save it. Next we have a one of Destined Connection. It has a condition where you have to command both Troublemaker Ricky and Waitress Nikki. Although it only costs one and it lets you draw 2 cards. For just 1 fuel, that's pretty good. Next up we have For the Cause. Slightly higher fuel cost of 4 for the same effect as the previous card, Destined Connection, where you just draw 2 cards, but it has no condition, so you can use this whenever. Next up we have Forced Eviction. If a lifeform assaults you or a lifeform you command, return it to your opponent's hand. Next is Nope. Avoid the initiation of a tactical card. Moving on to the fuel cards. Chemical Weapon X5, deplete 4 fuel, and neutralize 1 lifeform. Next we have 2 copies of Spare Battery, where it can basically act as 2 fuel for the turn you use its effect. And wrapping up the fuel cards, we have 2 copies of Hidden Greed. Simple, deplete 1 fuel, draw 1 card. Moving on to the resources, we have 8 City of Emors. Now, since these are basic resources, you can have any number of them as you want in your deck. Of course, this can't break the rule of having 10 resources, but you can have up to 10 or as many as 0. And of course, since these are basic resources, they don't do anything except keep you alive and have a nice artwork of the city you're defending. Next we have an effect resource card. Now you can only have 2 copies of any effect resource card. Ricky's Favorite Drink. Simple effect, draw 2 cards. And finally, wrapping up the resources, we have Tibetian Exchange. You discard 2 cards, but you can add any card from your deck to your hand. So if you need that 1 card that will help you win the game, you can search it out. And that was the Defenders of the City Recruitment deck. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed.